The Niners will never be a number one special teams unit. They don't have the dudes, but they could be the 20th or the 15th with the talent
Somewhere
that they
in the
have.
middle would be
And
nice.
instead, they're the fucking worst. And it's not even particularly close. And it just shows the level of detail that Kyle Shanahan provides to that phase of the game as a head coach. And I got to give credit to John Middlecoff on this one. He brought it up on Cowherd's podcast on Sunday. Who are the two best special teams coaches in recent NFL history in your mind?
Belichick and
Belichick.
I'm just Bones Fossil.
Well, Bones Fossil's
a
very good, but like head coaches, the two best
like
special
Tomlin,
team.
maybe
Tomlin's very good. Tomlin's a very good one, but I would say Andy Reid. And
Yeah,
Andy, maybe this is
fair.
being prisoner of the moment because they just blocked a kick and they get a blocked PAT in the Super Bowl. Now that game goes to overtime because of a blocked PAT in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
By the way, same guy, Chenal, who's a beast. It just makes impact plays without being an impact player. It's a funny thing how that works. Andy Reid and Bill Belichick, the two greatest coaches in the history of football. Shouts to John Shula, but those two guys are doing it at a higher level at a different era. Those two guys care about special teams. And I don't think it's a passive thing where, they just luckily had special teams.
Right.
They care. They employed excellent people to handle special teams. They took a serious role in special teams. Those two, no one ever said that Bill Belichick had a shitty defense. No one ever says that Andy Reid has a shitty offense. But those two guys are head coaches who care about special teams, and their teams win titles.
Yeah, I think perhaps the most confounding sort of like contradiction about Kyle Shanahan is that he is an offensive coach who doesn't seem to fully trust his offense and yet puts this little to no effort into special teams of basically his own admission. If you parse through any quote that he's ever made about special teams over the year, this isn't
it's embarrassing now.
Going out
it's
on
embarrassing
a limb.
Reading those quotes after the fact.
He has a pretty open disdain for them. You talk about the kickoffs. He's like, yeah, we're definitely going to kick it through the end zone to start the year, which is not, that's a good strategy.
I told you it would happen.
Excited to have the play be over and not looking at a way to innovate in that area of the game, as far as we can tell, because he has a disdain for it. And yet he has this approach where I'm an offensive coach, and yet let me not trust my offense and say this offense is going to score. Let me instead worry about, there could be a false start. There could be a penalty. We might have a missed protection, all of which are reasonable concerns, especially with this offense.
100%.
But you would think, being an offensive coach who set up this entire scheme, who has all these pieces that are incredible, that he would trust in that unit over a special teams unit in which he does not place value on, and which frustrates him to no end. And yet,
it's a black box for him.
Correct. Time after time, he defaults to saying, 50-yard field goal, yeah, that's good, right? Instead of a fourth and short or fourth and medium, and saying, okay, we've got Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy, the first quarterback I've ever had with the Niners that I've semi-trusted. Let's see if we can get this and actually grind out some points in a game where, we don't get the ball back in the second half and all this. And he just defaults to this special teams unit that he has no interest in really overseeing. And maybe that sounds crazy and harsh.
It is crazy.
He has never shown that he really does care about special teams or overseeing it. And if that changes, I will call it out. But look at any quote he's ever made about special teams. It's pretty clear.
He does not hide from the fact. There's not even a sugarcoating. And it is bizarre. It is bizarre. It comes back to mindset. Kyle's more concerned about what could go wrong than what could go right.